Hello everyone, my name is Shanken Chen. You can call me Dr. Chen. So as you already watched Unit 6, Episode 1, and today I would like to introduce you a Baroque musician, Baroque composer. His name is Vivaldi, Antonio Vivaldi. Antonio Vivaldi was born in Venice, Italy in 1678 and then was passed away in 1741. So he was quickly be baptized while he was born because his health issues. He has some asthma. So everybody thinks maybe to give him a baptism would be a better way to be able to survive during that time. And so he became the priest in the Catholic Church. So he has a red hair, so a lot of people call him the red hair priest. So when he played the violin when he was young, because his father is already a violinist, so father and son are already a very big violinist in Venice, Italy, and everybody wants to go to Venice to sing Vivaldi to play the violin. Later on, he was staying after he left as a priest from the Catholic Church. He was a teacher, the violin teacher at one of the orphanage. During that time, there are a lot of kids. They didn't have families to take care of it, so they have to stay in the orphanage. So what did the Vivaldi do? He taught every kid to play the violin. And if you watch the movie The Red Violin, there's one scene from the movie. You can see how the kids during that time, how they are being trained to play the violin. So if you are interested about what's going on during the orphanage during the Vivaldi's period, okay? And he was already very genius about the composition. When he was a priest, during the service, they are doing the mass on Sunday. And a lot of times Vivaldi already have something in mind and he wants to write it down. So he would left from the service and then just writing down some draft before he really composed. So a lot of people think he was not really a very good priest. But as we see in his history, he composed about like 300 concertos, and there are maybe 200 for the violin concerto. So there's a lot. Imagine in your lifetime how many pieces you will be able to compose. 300 is a lot. Okay. Besides the concertos, he also composed like maybe 18 operas. During that time, I would say it's not really opera, but it's kind of like a religious opera, like something we say today, like oratorio or maybe cantata. Those kind of things relate to the religions. Okay, and he also composed some sonatas too. Okay, so today, as we already talked about Vivaldi, maybe I would like to show you some parts from one of his biggest or maybe most famous piece is called the Four Seasons. So four seasons, what are the four seasons? They are spring, summer, autumn, and winter, right? So as our time consuming, maybe I will just show you the spring, okay? So for each season, there are 3 movements as a typical concerto, 3 movements. And Vivaldi was following like standard form as a first movement, fast, second movement, slow, and then third movement, back to the fast tempo. So fast, slow, fast. Or sometimes we'll say quick, slow, quick. It's the same thing. And what's special for these 4 seasons? It is a programmatic music. So what is programmatic music? That means the composer will have certain ideas to compose a piece and then give some certain of the meanings. So for example, like this one, the concerto gives the name Four Seasons. So you will have imagine what's going on when you listen to the music. And for the spring, so Vivaldi also give a very special things for this concerto. He put the sonic taxes in each of the season, even each movement. What is sonic text? S-O-N-N-E-T, sonic texts, T-E-X-T. What is that? It's one of the very popular form of writing the poem in the Baroque period. A lot of composers or musicians, they did the sonic text during that time. So what did Vivaldi do? He was explaining how the music goes to tell people how to listen to the music and give the hint what's going on during the music. So that's why we call it programmatic music. There's some certain of the meaning, okay? So let's move on to the first movement of the spring. So at the beginning of the first movement, Vivaldi already told us from his sonic text, he said, spring has come. So what's the spring has come music sounds like? Okay, let's just listen a little bit, okay? Oh, by the way, this our today's pianist, Antico Li Cai-yin. So just wave to the camera. Okay, so we are going to play a little bit beginning of the first movement. Okay, so this is how Vivaldi said spring has come. And as you listen to the music, you can feel a big contrast from loud volume to the soft in the same motive. And then second time is much softer. So this is when I talk about the Baroque characteristics of the music. Remember I mentioned about a big contrast between loud and soft. This is one of the example here, okay? And then Vivaldi said the birds greet it and then festively with a cheerful song. So that means the birds was singing together. They are chanting together with very cheerful sound. So what's going on in the music about the birds? So he did was he used a one thing in the music terminology we call it trio, T-R-I-O. So what is trio? That means you use one note and then add it up top of that note and then make repeated two notes together. It will make a trio sound. So something like if I play the B, this is only one note, and if I add a trio on top of the B notes, it will become. So this is typically the composer will use as a trio to represent bird sound. Okay, so this part we are going to show you what's going on in the music of the first movement of the spring. What's going on for the birds sound? They were enchanting each other. You were easy to feel from the solo violin part and also the piano. She is actually did the orchestra part. So we are enchanting each other, different birds. Okay. Okay, so you already heard there are a lot of birds they were singing. If you look at the orchestra recording, you will see the soloists were playing the trio with the first violin principal and also the second violin principal. Three of them were enchanting each other. Okay, so next Vivaldi said when with the breeze of gentle breeze. Springs trickle with a sweet murmur. So what does that mean? That means when you feel very soft the breeze, very soft wind was blowing to you, and you can also hear a very soft running waters like a small creek was moving. So you will hear that sound, and it was singing very quietly. So something was explaining about the springs, okay, the water, the running water. Okay, so this is about these sections in the music. Okay, so you easily feel these kind of sounds explaining about the running water, the springs trickling, okay? And also the next would be, since beautiful weather on the spring season, right? The next would be the lightning and thunders. They will come into the music, and then all the sky was getting dark, became like a black cloud, okay? Dark weather at that time. So what's going on for the lightning and the thunder? Okay, so this is the lightning and thunder comes in. And later on, when the lightning and thunder goes away, became good weather again. So the birds become to singing again. So they will continue for their enchanting singing. Okay, so this is what's going on in the music when the birds singing again. Okay. Okay, so you will hear the bird was singing. So as we play the music here as a trio, right? Okay, so this is about all about the first movement of the spring. So we'll move on to the second movement of the spring. So here, what's going on in the second movement? We've already said there is a shepherd. Along with him, there is a kind of dog, like shepherd dog with him. And in the very beautiful weather, the shepherd was like sleeping, so like nodding, tired, getting tired, okay? And so at the beginning, you will hear the first measure from the orchestra parts. It was explained about the trees or plants, leaves, they were like waving and then making the sound, okay? And they are talking, they are talking each other very quietly. So what's going on for the plant sound? Very good. So it's just I say, it's a slow movement. Okay, the speed will be much slower. Even though we've already put a 3/4 meter, 3 beats in a measure, but since it's slow, you can count it in 6. Dum da dum da dum da dum da dum do di la do. Very soft and very slow. And also on the left hand of the piano is also from the orchestra's low string part, like cello and basses. They are playing a soft 2 notes. It was explained about the barking dog sound. The dog was barking, okay? Okay, so it might be the dog next to the shepherd or maybe far away from them, okay? So we would like to play a little bit the beginning of the second movement. And what's going on for the solo violin part is a very slow melodies. It represents the sleeping shepherds, Okay, so second movement of the spring. Okay, so this is how the beginning of the second movement of the spring. So today's we already talked about Vivaldi and also Vivaldi's very popular music, the Four Seasons Springs. Okay, so I hope I will see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye bye.